We're going to take a look at Fantom today and have a look at some of the key price levels that we spoke about last video, okay? And then we'll check to see if the levels that we marked out actually played out, and then try to mark out, like I said, some of those key areas of value where we can look to add into positions when we're trying to join an uptrend so that you are well positioned in the market. Now, if you like the video, please go ahead and subscribe down below. Like the video, dislike the video. Let me know where you think, Fantom's headed in, the short to near term. I want to know if you're holding. Did you buy some at the top? Did you buy some a little bit lower? Really want to know where you guys are at with Fantom. So we'll get straight into it. And I also just wanted to make you aware of the last video that we put out and how we spoke about that key level about 190, as that's where we expect a more realistic point to be entering at a much better discount, and where we expect to get that, that key bounce from. So let's just take a look at that, what we were talking about in the last video. Next area, okay, which is a little bit more realistic in the short to medium term, would be that $1.90 mark, okay, where we can see if we dive down into the daily, we can see we've either flipped this as support resistance over here, over here, over here, over here, multiple times. So if we were to come back down here, this would be a good area to start adding positions in if you're bullish on Fantom. Okay. Now, obviously, we've had a sharp decline since our big drop a couple of weeks ago, and we dropped like pretty much about 50%, right? Down here from $3.30 in and around the area to about $1.80, okay? And you can see the areas that we marked out, okay? I've just changed the colors. I've left them in exactly, okay? The areas that we mark out, like we said, we look left, look at those key blocks of weekly support resistance. Those are going to be the most important things to give you market structure and key levels to identify where buyers and sellers are stepping in. And you can see that we got that really nice bounce at the start of last week when we crashed down on Monday, and we moved from $1.80, and we actually got a nice 44% bounce straight to the top of that red box that we drew out, which is the top of that the next range. So you can see that we're just essentially ranging at the moment, and we did get rejected from there at the $2.60 mark, but now we're coming down, possibly retesting this area that we bounced from last week to see if we can hold it as support. Now, what you want to see from Fantom in the short to medium term, okay, if you're bullish on Fantom and you want to see it move higher, and you bought here hoping for a move, even higher than 260, then obviously you want one thing. You want BTC to stay either relatively stable or start to, as long as it doesn't basically shit the bed and completely move, make a strong move to the downside. But over here, this is that strong area. You want to see it hold. I'll just jump it onto the weekly over here. So long as we hold this on the weekly, maybe for this week and next week, we can probably start to make a push up a little bit higher and maybe start to attack that 260. Okay, so that would be the just short to medium term before we could even start looking at 330 and beyond, okay? Because obviously we're in a strong downtrend, a lot of pressure on all markets at the minute, so just be aware of that. But like we said, I spoke about Link, okay, where I was talking about areas of value, and some people seem to think that just because I mark out areas maybe a little bit lower, okay, people go, oh, you're so pessimistic and all this sort of stuff. Look, I'm just giving you the areas that I can see, and just to make you aware of, areas to the downside. And like I said, if you like these coins and you think that they're going higher, if you're happy to buy Fantom at $3.30 and you're happy to buy it at $1.90, if I said to you mark out some key areas towards $1, why wouldn't you buy it? You can buy twice as much, okay? So just bear that in mind. But should we get a weekly close below this green box, okay, then I would expect lower prices, okay? So if we do get that close, I would say at about, $1.70, we puncture down here in the same way, like I said, that we did with Bitcoin at 40K, then expect more downside pressure. I imagine that would coincide with Bitcoin moving lower as well. So the next level below $1.90 is this big area of support where I'd be really interested in some juicy buys over here at about 90 cents to $1. Okay, and you can see that we've got this, and we've even got this this big candle over here, which was the liquidation wick in December at $1.15. So that would be my next area. The way that I would be playing this would be essentially to ladder in buys. Personally, this is how I would do it. I'd ladder in buys from about $1.15, okay, and then just ladder in and just set some bid limit orders down here down to about 90 cent, and then look for a bounce at this level. Maybe put your stop loss somewhere down here where you're comfortable, at about maybe, I don't know, 70 cent, if that's the way you want to play it. But I think this is actually if you're looking to trade it, that is. But I think if you're looking to just add into areas of value and just hold for the long term, I do think that this is quite a good area. We're looking for that. That would be a 70% decline should we get there. Just to make you aware, like I said, we don't have to go down here, but if we do get here, a 70% discount from the highs is looking pretty good. And like, for me, when I see big moves like that of like 60-70%, and they happen quite quickly, because there has to be a time component here, that if it stretches out and you lose 70% over, say, like 6 months, okay, that might be a long drawn out bear market structure. But if you get this big push down, and it is quite quick, like I said, we're just wary of any big move down, considering how weak the markets are looking at the moment. Then if you do get that move down, a good area to be buying in. And if we also have a look at our VPVR, we can see absolutely perfectly why those areas are marked out. You can see here $1.80 was the lowest volume area, and you can see that we don't hang around at these levels for very long. How many times do we say that? Okay, we see right over here at these key zones, okay, that we get big bounces or we slice straight through. So if we come down here, we're expecting to push a little bit higher, or if we do move further down, we can see that big low volume area is going to be exactly at the area that we've marked out here at about $1.15, where we would expect, if we'd come down here, hopefully some sort of big bounce over there. And if we got some sort of big bounce, it can easily be a 60, 70, 80% bounce to play for, either a trade or just holding into long term. So that's why we've got to look out for those levels. Taking a look at the Fantom Bitcoin chart, what we can see as well is the areas that we marked out, we're expecting to potentially get a reaction from those levels. And we also mentioned quite a few times that those key levels on the Bitcoin chart with these coins are going to be usually quite confluent with the USD value, okay? And then what we got last week, you can see, if I'm just going to dial this into the 4-hourly, is that when we hit that first green zone at about 5,000 sats, we got that bounce, okay, on Fantom at about $1.80, which took us to $2.60 in the middle of last week, and that was a 30% bounce on the BTC chart, okay? So if we do lose this level, okay, the next levels down from here, it might be, we might go sort of fairly quick down, but I imagine that we wouldn't go straight down. There's probably going to be some levels where we pit stop, but down to the next level is a 50% decline, just to make you aware of that. But like I said, the coin can be fluid with BTC USD price and the Fantom Bitcoin price. So they are interchangeable, but I would look out for more intra swings to potentially add in, which is going to be these levels that I'm marking out for you over here. So Fantom at about these levels, you can see we've had historical price reactions before, so at about 4,400 sats, okay, and again over here. And then if you look below that, we've also got some pivot points over here at about 3,000 sats, so in this cluster of price action over here. So if you're looking to add in, or you're looking for confluence, okay, on the Bitcoin chart, then look to see if these areas, mark them out 4,400 and 3,200, 3,000 sats thereabouts, are in confluent with maybe that $1.15 or $1.90 area. So those are the key levels to look out for. Or if we get down to the bottom of this range, which would be a more clear and obvious buy, that's at about 2,500 sats. So if for some reason we got to 2,500 sats and we were sitting at about $1, that's probably going to be a screaming buy at high time frame weekly support. So if you made it to the end of the video, please let me know where you think Fantom is headed. I really want to know down below. And if you've got some value, like I said, drop me a like. I'll put out some content for some updated coins some other times this week and give you some other market updates. So subscribe, put the bell icon to stay tuned. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.